It is Wednesday evening, and it is our notary meeting recall every week that we do here at Complete Signings. This is our, I don't know how many calls we've done, but anyway, tonight we're going to be giving an update to the folks on the General Notary Work Business Builder team. I've got an update for them. And then we're also going to dive into email signature and kind of creating a CRM. A CRM is a client relationship management software. It just is basically a place where you keep all of your client contacts so you can follow up with them, you know, in the future. And then whatever other questions you guys have. So that is what I have on the schedule for tonight. And let's see here. I'm missing Zara. I'm missing Dominique. I'm missing Michelle. I don't know where everybody is tonight. Hopefully they can get in here and get started. See Deborah. Let's see here.
Hey, Monica, can you hear me?
Yes.
Have you talked to Dominique in the last couple of days? Personally?
I talked to her, yeah, day before yesterday.
Okay, so I know she has some personal stuff going on. Part of a conversation I had with her, so she may or may not show, and if she doesn't, I would completely understand.
Got you. Okay, thank you for that, Sebastian. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, cool. Okay, here we go. Admit. All right, awesome. So tonight's call, first and foremost, I want to give a quick update to the folks on the General Notary Work Business Builder. Let me get Deborah in real quick. She's text messaging me. And
you look warm over there, girl. Hey, Miss Monica.
Is that Zara? I was wondering. Look, I just came from outside. I was wondering if you was gonna be here, and I was like, "Where is Zara?"
Girl, I'm excited to hear what you about to say about LinkedIn. Ooh.
I know, right? Hey, Deborah, it's Monica. Okay, so I know you're trying to get in, so I wanted to send you to the Facebook group because I just posted that fresh link in there. Are you in the Notary Nerds?
I just did it from I tried to get it from when you sent the message.
Right.
I just did it from Zoom, so you want me to go into the Facebook?
Yeah, for whatever reason, since you're not able to get in, I would say go ahead and go to the Facebook group and use that link, because I guess what's happened is since I started the meeting early by accident, it's acting as if the meeting is already in progress. So the link that I sent you may not be. So when I started the meeting, I copied another link and I posted that in the Facebook group, in the Notary Nerds Facebook group.
Okay, I'll try that.
Okay, we'll see you in there. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so tonight, let's get started. You know, let me make sure, let's see here. Right, let me make sure I have, LinkedIn has been my friend. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with you here in just a second, but quick update on the Google ads situation. I did get a credit received on the Google ads, but they won't give me any money back, unfortunately. So what that means is I just don't have the ability to, you know, it is what it is. They gave me a $459 credit. Karen is my representative. She was very, very helpful. And let me just kind of share my screen with you guys.
That does kind of suck that they gave you a credit, but that's kind of what I expected.
Yeah, exactly. I was hopeful that they would maybe give me, because I needed to be able to play with my cash, and I'm not able to do that, unfortunately. So, but I'm gonna share you my screen so that you can kind of see the communication between her and I. She emailed me yesterday or Monday to let me know that the credit was approved. It was 600 and something bucks, and they credited me $459 and some change back. She filled out the form for the refund, but it wasn't approved. So I'm cash strapped. Okay. So it's great that they gave me at least the credit back, so I can't complain. However, it limits my ability to do some other things. But anyway, long story short, I've got more cash coming, and we'll just move forward with the Google ads when it comes time. But in the meantime and in between time, LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn is going to be our focus for this evening, because let me tell you something. This sales navigator, is everything. When I tell you, I mean, I signed up for a free trial for the LinkedIn. I spent all day today updating my LinkedIn bio, by the way, because I realized when I got into LinkedIn last night and I started looking at the Sales Navigator and the free trial with that, I realized this is exactly where my leads are. I can actually go to my database and pull up all of the HECM, which stands for Home Equity Conversion Mortgage. That's another name for the reverse mortgage. I can go and pull up those lenders who closed reverse mortgages in October of 2020, all across the country. Then I can hop over to LinkedIn to find their contact information and find out who the VPs are. Not just any VPs, but the VPs who have been with the company for longer than 3 years, right? So it has been an exploration, to say the least. So what I spent today doing was getting my profile situated so that when the powers that be, when I start to market to these individuals, when they come to my profile, they will have a good understanding of who they're dealing with. So let me share with you real quick. Trying to go back to the LinkedIn.
How long did it take to set up everything?
It took me, I mean, I've been on the computer. I took maybe about a 2-hour break from like 5 to about 8, 5 to about 7.
Okay.
So I was on the computer from about 10 till about 5. So what is that, about 7, 8 hours today?
Mm-hmm.
And some of that was back and forth on Facebook. You know, I was kind of responding to people on Facebook and things like that. So I did take a couple of breaks. But what I wanted to display on LinkedIn was,
it's gorgeous, Miss Monica. It looks nice.
You. What I wanted to display on LinkedIn was authenticity. I'm not a corporate chick, right? I'm not one that's gonna, you know, try to be that corporate perfect image. I want to be authentic, and I want to be, you know, I want to be able to convey through my profile that I am just a regular person who has special talents, okay? And so I spent most of the day staring at the damn screen, trying to figure out what to say, and not trying to sound salesy and not trying to sound, you know, too put together. And so it took a second for it to kind of start to kind of flow. And so eventually this is what came out, and I didn't want it to be too long because people don't like to read these days. They don't want to read paragraphs upon paragraphs about you. But I finally got it down to where I feel like I can convey what it is I'm trying to do, and it ties in my history because I'm leveraging my strengths, okay? This is what I teach my real estate agent students, is when you have a listing, you leverage that listing by saying, hey, guess what I did? And you tell everyone in the neighborhood what you just did. That's called leveraging. Well, I'm leveraging my broker status with the reverse lender market. I'm of their ilk. I am from that cloth. I used to be a lender myself. And being a broker and having been a former lender, I'm already in the neighborhood. So I'm leveraging that familiarity with these certified reverse mortgage professionals and making myself as authentic as I can possibly do, you know, through a profile. And when I tell you this whole Sales Navigator thing is, you know.
No words.
I just have no words. So I signed up for the free trial, and everyone in the Business Builder team is going to get access to what I have gotten access to. So you guys tomorrow are going to receive an email requesting that you sign up for this Sales Navigator thing. So you guys are going to plug into my free 30-day trial. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue to drill down on the VPs at these reverse mortgage companies who have actually closed reverse mortgages in the month of October 2020. We're not throwing darts in the air. We're actually going towards the people, the companies who have actually closed mortgages, reverse mortgages, all across the company last month. That's how targeted, that's how niche we are right now. So what I need for everybody, especially on the General Notary Work Business Builder team, to do is to spend some time refreshing their LinkedIn profile, making sure your start and end dates are where you want it to be, making sure that your profile picture is what you want it to be, making sure you go into Canva and select a LinkedIn board or LinkedIn, what is this called?
Banner. Mm-hmm.
Play with Canva, start to incorporate your logo and everything. Get your LinkedIn how you want it to be over the next 24 hours. Because what's happening with me is now that I've got mine situated, I'm going to begin, in addition to the email marketing that I'm already doing to the CRMP database, which went out last week, I am also marketing to those loan officers who closed loans in October. And so that's going to be going out this week, but also to the VPs, the decision makers at the top reverse mortgage companies that closed loans in October of 2020. So we're niching down. So when I get somebody on the hook, as I did on Monday, I had my very first Zoom face-to-face. It was completely awesome. Robert is the gentleman that responded to my email campaign. He's in Central Florida, a very heavily, like it's a very much so a retirement community, the area that he lives in Central Florida. I think he said Palm Springs, if you guys are familiar. Anyway, we spent some time on Zoom. He helped me realize more about my target market that I did not know. As a loan officer, he prides himself on doing his own loan applications. Many certified reverse mortgage professionals are going to do the same. And so while I'm marketing to the certified reverse mortgage professional, I need to be cognizant of that. They pride themselves on doing their own loan modifications. The people that send out notary publics for the reverse product are typically working in a call center environment. I repeat, the people, the loan officers, the companies that are hiring signing services to find notaries public to go out and do their reverse applications are in call centers. They're not your mom and pop shops. Your mom and pop shops are doing their loan applications personally. They're having their own people do whatever it needs to be done to make sure it's done correctly. Will we get some of that business? Yes. Are we likely to get a lot of it? No. Okay.
Ouch.
The loan officers, the application is very thick, and from what I learned from my call with him, they want to make sure it's done properly. The ones that cannot do that are your AAGs, right? American, let me see what it stands for. Tom Selleck, the commercials that come on, the toll-free number, those calls are going to a call center, and those individuals are who is basically sending notaries out to do the application process. We've got Mutual of Omaha. We've got Longbridge Financial. We've got High Tech Lending out of primarily California. We've got Homebridge Financial Services, Finance of America, Reverse, LLC, Fairway Independent Mortgage, In-Car, Cherry Creek Mortgage, and All Reverse Mortgage. These are some of the top lenders. And when I say top lenders, hundreds of millions of dollars in closed reverse mortgages month before last, October. The data on that, the data that I'm able to access does have a lag time. As I explained in my course, we're not going to be able to get real-time data because there is maybe a 30 or 45-day lag. So the most recent data is October of 2020. We don't have November's numbers as of quite just yet. Any questions on anything so far before I go on?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Sarah.
What's truly your why behind reverse mortgage? What's the story on this? Because it's so niche specific. So I really want to hear the story, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. That's a really great question. My why is because as an entrepreneur of the last 2011. What is that? 9 years. I have learned that when you focus your efforts on being of service to areas where other people are running from, then you have a very phenomenal opportunity to be successful. And I've learned that over the years, and that's been one of my, kind of mantras. When I see specifically an area that people do not want to participate in, if I can focus then on that area, then you're kind of almost putting yourself and your business ahead of the game. And when I got into when I got into becoming a notary, I got my commission in August. I didn't get it until September, but my first signing wasn't until October. But all that while I was doing the loan signing system, I was in all of the, the Facebook groups, the Notary Public Facebook groups, and I was able to observe and listen and ingest a lot of the comments and posts. And there was a theme amongst every single group, and every single group had a commonality, and that was, I am never doing a reverse mortgage. They take too much time. They don't pay enough money, and I'm never doing it again. And I was like, ding, 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 ding,
Ding, ding, ding.
Exactly. So to answer your question, that's the why behind why the reverse mortgage.
Okay. If I'm following, I signed up for your signing service, and this is something that you're funneling and you're making this is your bread, not the bread and butter, but this is your main focus. And I want to make sure that we're in alignment and that I would like to follow this with you. So that's why I was asking, what's your true why?
I'm glad you asked that, because it was a great question. And the signing services projections, if you will, it starts with the general notary work, and the reverse mortgage application is actually a step below, because general notary work requires you to pull out your stamp. Well, a reverse mortgage application does not. It's not even a notarization that's involved in the application. It's just you assisting the signer in navigating the application and completing it as per the lender standards. So it's not even technically general notary work. But what it does, and what it hit me yesterday, is the epiphany was that the reverse mortgage application assists the entrepreneurial loan signing agent in setting up a future pipeline. And when I talked to Robert on Monday, who's in Central Florida, CRMP, Certified Reverse Mortgage Professional, he explained that yes, it does take about 6 months between the application and the closing, sometimes, if the closing is going to happen. So theoretically, reverse mortgage applications are going to be followed 6 months by a closing. So my thought process was, and when I called Tammy, my best friend, I was like, you know what? This could be the game changer, because at month 18, or I think 24, theoretically, a notary public who specializes in these reverse mortgage applications, you start at 0 and you build your pipeline and you begin these reverse mortgage applications. And then at 0, you have reverse application number 1. 6 months from then, you have that closing. Theoretically, there's gonna be some attrition. All of the applications that you take or you assist with are not necessarily going to result in a closing. People will change their minds, situations will change, etc. However, in sales, everything is a numbers game. So what we're doing at Complete Signings is positioning our notaries public, to get those applications in volume, so that 6 months later, they have a closing application that they're in line for already. Why? Because the lender is going to love, and the signer is going to love, the familiarity of it all. They're going to love the familiarity of, Zara came in and did our application a few months ago. She's going to be the same person that comes back and does my signing. So It's a 6 to 12 month pipeline build. Once you begin to build that pipeline, given the fact that there is going to be some attrition, about 12 to 18 months out, what you will find is a booked calendar, because you will have all of these applications that you will have facilitated or helped to facilitate And then naturally, in the course of them getting their counseling, getting their appraisal, getting all of their things done required of the product itself, 4, 5, and 6 months later, you're going to start to have a flow of these reverse mortgage closings be automatically in your pocket. They're not going to be looking for anyone else. They're going to be looking for you. Right? That's the plan. All right.
Hashtag cash cow.
Correct. What questions do you guys have?
I have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
So on this, okay, so with your signing service, if we're going to specialize in this, there needs to be some general training, right? So that we could be serving you with a spirit of excellence for our company as well as yours. So, because I don't know anything about reverse, this is my not first time hearing it from you, but you're like this new week, you're like, girl, I'm going in for real. For last week, Dominique did it. You know, you're like, I'm serious. I seen you have a training for Black Friday. So I'm like, okay, Ms. Monica, if this is what you're doing, I'm aligning with you and locking arms with you. I really do not have training. I seen that, Bill Soroka has his certification.
Right.
I need to know what's your expectation or what you're going to offer us as new notaries coming through your notary service wanting to do the reverse mortgage. That's what I'm really asking. What?
Excellent question. Okay, so number one, Bill and Nina's training is awesome. It is thorough, it is detailed, it is in bite-sized nuggets so that you can absorb it easily and it doesn't overwhelm. Okay. The training is really effective in the marketing aspect as far as, I'm able to take that CRMSP, which is the Certified Reverse Mortgage Signing Professional designation that I've earned from attending Bill and Nina's class in marketing to these VPs and higher at these different companies that I just mentioned. However, you don't have to have a certification in order to conduct in order to do a reverse application, nor do you have to have a certification in order to do a closing. So there are notaries just like yourself and myself that are out doing these signings without the certification at all whatsoever. So that having been said, the gentleman that I met on Monday ran the reverse mortgage department for Fifth Third Bank. And the call that we had, of course, my call was to introduce Complete Signings to him, make my notary public. He was in Florida, so it would have been a Dominique thing. And he wasn't even really in Dominique's area. Dominique's in, I think, Fort Lauderdale, and I think he is in Central Florida. So it still would have been like an 80-mile haul. It wasn't like right in her backyard. But he responded to the ad. So my purpose in communicating with him on the Zoom was to see what his needs were, how we could be of service. And when he explained that when he does get an application, he's going to take care of it. And that the call centers were the ones who typically utilize the notaries, then our conversation changed a little bit. He shared with me his prior ownership of a title company. He shared with me that he had an idea similar to what I was doing with regard to a signing service about 10 years ago, but he just never acted on it. He got my email, he liked what he saw, and he just wanted to chat. So the conversation changed and he began to pitch me. And in his pitch to me, he explained to me of his background. He's going to be sending me an email, giving me a little bit more in-depth information into his background, but he let it be known that he's been doing reverse mortgages for the last 28 years successfully, and that he could take a page out of an application packet and know where it goes back in without thinking about it. He recently became a notary public himself, but was concerned that him showing up at a signing may be intimidating to the lender because he himself was a lender of reverse mortgages. So his point in communicating with me was to see if there could be some type of synergy. And Zara, to your point, he brought up the possibility of doing some training. So we are in the beginnings of a discussion of the training for reverse mortgage applications and reverse mortgage closings. And I explained to him, Bill and Nina's training is great. The only challenge recently has been the price. And that I would want, if we did anything, for it to be at the $97 price point, because the price point that Bill and Nina are at now is at almost $200. And I've heard some pushback from some notaries. And he said, okay, well, why don't we just take a couple of days and digest this conversation, and then we'll just take it from there. So that's where we are now. And so I'm assuming that once we get back together, we will probably begin discussions on developing some complete signings specific reverse mortgage certification. Because meanwhile, while I wait on him to get me his information, I am still moving forward with the email campaign that I talked to you guys about last week, which has already been deployed. I've already reached out to the certified reverse mortgage professionals in my database in the states where I have notaries and the GNW Business Builder. I'm also going to be reaching out to the individuals that have closed mortgages in the states where I have notaries. And then also this third layer is going to be the VPs that I've located on LinkedIn, which I'm about to share with you guys here in just a second. So any questions?
Hey, Monica, it's Jeannie
Hey, Jeannie.
from Texas.
Yes.
I've been busy. I've been missing y'all. I'm sorry. I always watch the replays. Anyway, so I'm a little behind on everything, but so as long as I'm, signed up with you with complete signings, I'll be able to be in on the reverse mortgages, or do I have to do something different to be with that?
Okay, so you have to be in the General Notary Work Business Builder team. So if you're not,
Okay.
if you didn't pull the trigger, so 14 people pulled the trigger with me a month ago, and they paid me $50 because I told them I was going to get them leads through Google Ads, and the Google Ads, so the Google Ads thing has not worked as planned. There are some kinks and some things that need to be worked. Yeah, that's right. So because of that, we've had to kind of table that, so to speak. And then I got a big charge. They charged my account like $600 and threw me all the way off, threw a whole bunch of stuff off. They gave me a credit of like $459 of that back, but it's not a refund. It's a credit. So I'm kind of having to put Google Ads plus YoCal. There's still some things that they're working out. So there's still some things that need to be worked out with the whole Google Ads thing. So I said, okay, everybody, I still need to try to get you a return on your $50 investment with me. So we're going to table Google Ads for a second, and we're going to focus on going direct to these reverse mortgage applications. It's more profitable for me anyway, because the Google Ads was going to be like the $10, to complete signings for each appointment. And that was great. But since it's not working and it's costing me a lot of money, it's not great right now. So with the reverse mortgage applications, though, I can afford to pay $100, maybe a little bit more, and earn $25 to $50 per appointment. So the return on investment for me as complete signings, the reverse mortgage application makes more sense because I don't have to spend as much money to get that to happen. All I have to do is to get these people that are doing them to say, hey, we want to use you. And that's just basically me emailing them and calling them and that kind of thing. So things have kind of shifted a little bit from Google Ads to the whole reverse mortgage application email marketing. So that's kind of where we are right now. And that's kind of what we're talking about right now.
So I got to sign up with the business thing. It answers the phone. It answers the phones for you, right? That's what that is.
Yeah, the business. Right. What happens is with the business builder, what happens is there is that 24/7 toll-free number, but we're not going to send them there first. What's going to happen is I'm email marketing to these reverse mortgage people, the VPs and the loan officers and all of that. And I'm saying, hey, I've got this great team that are ready to come and do your applications and your closings. And I'm doing it in a more personable kind of a way. I'm not sending them anywhere. I'm not requiring anything of them other than to do a Zoom call with me. And so in my email that I sent to them, let me just kind of show you guys so you can kind of see, instead of me hold on just a second and I will show you the email. Okay, so let me share my screen real quick. Okay, so last week began the email campaign to the certified reverse mortgage professionals in my database. And the email that you're looking at now is an example of the email that I sent out. I just said, hi, my name is Monica Wilder, real estate broker and owner of People First Realty. Again, I'm leveraging my position. I'm a broker. I'm emailing loan people, loan officers, and I'm in Middle Tennessee. So those are all ding, ding, dings. Loan officers are making loans all across the country. So people are moving, right? They're selling their homes and they're moving to different parts of the country. There's this big migration thing happening. So I know that. So I'm leveraging the fact that I'm a broker. I'm leveraging the fact that I own a real estate brokerage in Middle Tennessee to these loan officers to get their attention. So that's my lead in. So after I do that, I let them know that I've been specializing in niche markets, and that recently I opened a loan notary signing service called Complete Signings. And then of course I provide my flyer. Then there's a link that they can click that gets them the opportunity to do a face-to-face, like a Zoom meeting with me. They click this link and they're able to provide they're able to schedule a Zoom meeting, and they can schedule it at their convenience. Well, on Monday, I had my first one of those. So I know that this whole funnel process works because I've already got one that's happened. But what I've done is I've just only emailed the certified reverse mortgage professionals. And what I learned on Monday is that most of these guys are solo dolo. They have a team, and when they get an application, they take care of it themselves. I learned that in order for me to get to who I need to get to, I needed to focus on the reverse mortgage VPs. So I signed up for this whole sales navigator, and let me just kind of give you an idea. What you're looking at now is the sales navigator in LinkedIn. And I guess this is what you would call its dashboard or whatever the case may be. But for instance, when I look for AAG, here we are, because I've accessed this sales navigator for, for the 30-day trial. As you can see here, Jay Elder is one of the first results. There's 13,000 total results. But he actually is a reverse mortgage loan officer at AAG. AAG is the end all be all of reverse mortgages in most markets across the country. So when I spoke with the gentleman on Monday, I realized I needed to kind of turn my tail a little bit with regard, still do what I'm doing, but kind of focus a little bit more on the companies that are call center focused. So let's just kind of come over here. And Jeannie, do you have any questions so far while I'm moving my, showing you the next thing?
Oh, no, I'm following. Thanks for filling me in.
Okay, cool. Okay, so when I look at the reverse mortgage closings for 2020, okay? So I've got January, if you look down at the bottom, February, March, I got every single month of 2020, and I just recently added October. Now, when we look at October, and what I'll do is I'll come up here and I'll remove my filter so you can see. And what I'll do also is I will sort the range by originating mortgage E. Okay, so once you do that, once I did that, it was clear advisors, I'm sorry, let me go back to AAG. Where's AAG? Let me see here. Okay, here we are. American Advisors Group. Now, if you'll follow me, if you guys can see this screen, are you guys able to see it okay? Okay. If you can see this, you'll notice here, property state. I want you to see the diversification. Some of these you will see California, California, Colorado, Colorado, Texas, Texas. You can see they're very regionally located. Okay. But when you get to AAG, right? You see Alaska, Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, California. This is just the month of October, people. This is not all of 2020. This is just the 31 or whatever days, 30 days or whatever October has. California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia.
How many total closings are for that month?
Closings. These are real loans. These are not.
How many closings? I didn't hear you. What she say?
I didn't
How many
calculate.
total?
I didn't calculate.
Oh.
We can do that while we're on the call. But as you can see here, I'm still scrolling and it's all AAG. Do you guys see that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm still scrolling. AAG is who we want. Okay. There are some other heavy hitters in here, like I mentioned. Mutual of Omaha, Longbridge, High Tech. There were some other heavy hitters. However, AAG is the granddaddy. Okay. Now, the bottom line is this is the month of October and this is the entire country, but look at all of these. Fairway Independent Mortgage, Massachusetts, Kansas, Idaho, Illinois, Montana, Minnesota, North Carolina. I was looking for the diversity. Why? Because I have 14 notaries in 9 different states. So I'm targeting their locations in the reverse application marketing. So I wanted as much diversity as possible. So as you can see, even though the reverse mortgage has had its bad reputation, and remember this, you guys, anything bad that you hear about a reverse mortgage, just like Nina told us in the reverse mortgage call the other day with Bill, it happened between 1961 and 1981. What happened in 1981 was President Ronald Reagan sent that product, the reverse mortgage product, to HUD and said, fix it. It's problematic, fix it. That was in 81. So all of the bad, horrible things that you heard about reverse mortgages happened between 1961 and 1981. The reason that there is a 275-page packet now is because it's been fixed. There are disclosures upon disclosures and requirements of counseling. There's all kinds of built-in protective devices to keep this product from having a negative connotation ever again. You cannot be slick with this product anymore. So it's very important that you guys get that and internalize that, because it's going to help you be confident when you are in front of someone, knowing that, hey, look, they have had a counseling session, that. There is no way the government is going to let this signer be taken advantage of easily. If you're going to try to take advantage of this signer, you have got to jump through a bunch of hoops and risk a bunch of stuff in order to do so. So this space is very well insulated and protected with a bunch of federal regulations, and that all happened 81. So it's getting to be where now more financial advisors and people are starting to recommend this product for their high net worth, customers, because it doesn't make sense for people to have all of this equity and not be able to do anything with it. And even people like my mom, who she doesn't have a lot of equity, but we're looking at the reverse because she's coming out of the classroom. She's been teaching for the last, I don't know how many years, and she's ready to retire. And she's going to be on a fixed income. And even though her equity position isn't very aggressive, what I told her was, hey, Mom, look, get this reverse mortgage, the $850 or $900 you're sending to the mortgage company, you won't have to worry about anymore. Until you pass away, you will not have a mortgage payment. And her initial thing with me was, well, what about you and Christina? I said, Mom, don't
Who, Christina?
worry. My sister.
Okay. I'm nosy.
Because she said she was worried that me and my sister, she was, once her house is paid for or whatever she does with it, she knew that was going to come, to us. And so she thought that the reverse mortgage was going to prevent that from happening. Well, a reverse mortgage is only going to allow one to utilize only 50% of their equity. That's number one. So whether you're buying with a reverse mortgage, you're going to have to bring 50% as a down payment. Or if you're staying in your home and getting a reverse mortgage, you need at least 50% equity in order for this all to work. So you're already starting with a cushion. So in the case of my mom, I said, you know what? If you're really concerned about me and Christina, when you pass away, the money that you're saving every month, because you're coming out of the classroom, you're not going to have a regular paycheck, you're going to be living off of Social Security and whatever little pension you got, you can get a $500,000 term life policy, okay? Whatever, if you really want to take care of me and Christina. I don't want you living hand to mouth in your 70s. I want you living your best life in your 70s. I want you to go on the cruise. I want you to go travel. I want you to do whatever it is that you want to do because you deserve it. So she is going to be pursuing this whole reverse mortgage situation. And, it took Lauren, he's the gentleman that I'm connected with. I'm helping another client do one of these, and on the real estate side, it took him listening to him give the spiel about it to understand that this is a great product. So apparently a lot of people already know that, because these are just October's numbers. And let me just share with you real quick what they are. Hold on just a second. There's so many, I can't even. Let's just go to the numbers. Okay, so.
Is the heat on or no? It's cold. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to put on.
Here are let me see if Deborah was able to get in. Hold on just a second, y'all. Any questions so far? Okay, yeah, I am recording it, so yeah, I will.
So is the package itself still at 250 pages and over? Because I haven't seen one in quite some time.
From what I understand, the training I went through, because I've not done an application or a closing, but from the notaries that I've talked to who have, the application can be 200 and some odd pages. So, and then when you talk about the signer's copies, then you're talking about a ream. You're talking about a ream of paper.
So there was one reverse that I did a long time ago. It really caught me off guard. I ended up having to do that over 3 days because I messed it up altogether. But that one application packet was 180 pages. Okay. And I would say he had to fill out at least, for every 2 pages, he had to fill out at least one. So most of that, if not more, he had to fill out pretty much everything. And that was the first time I sat with him, it was a 3-hour ordeal. It was just my particular situation. He was blind, so he was literally holding the paper like 3 or 4 inches from his face. He was leaning down at the table. He was asking me all the questions about what's this, what's that word. I just didn't know how to handle it, and I didn't handle it well. But yeah. And I did one closing for a lady, and she was just fine. She could read, understand, converse really easily, but it still took us about 2 hours because that was just under 200 pages for that closing. So it's not a problem for one of those to go 200 to 300 pages. As far as the applications, I'm thinking closer to 2, but like a closing, you're probably going to get closer to 3.
So I also have a second question then, and it's probably has already been answered. Definitely a sensitive question, but I really want to know what it is. Okay, so can somebody go over value for me? So just an average. I know that the speaker is in Florida, so I know Florida averages would be different than, say, West Coast, but just a general standard for the reversed mortgage would be about what?
Well, from what I've heard, now I'm in Tennessee. So
Oh, okay. Sorry.
yeah, so from the training that I've taken, 1 to 150 has been the number for the application.
Okay.
Up to 3 has been the number for the actual closing.
Okay. Okay. Just
And
making
how long
sure.
does the closing take? That's really the question.
An hour and a half.
Yeah, almost 2.
Right. To
I can
2
see
hours.
that.
Yeah.
You're going to have to budget that at least an hour and a half. And I only say that because depending on the person that you're dealing with, they may be readers. That's one thing. They may just talk your head off all the time and just keep going with stories and whatnot. You got to kind of keep them focused. They may have a hard time writing. I think I was watching Bill, and he saw Nina had mentioned about these weighted pens, or somebody had mentioned about weighted pens, and they're like just really, really thick pens, and they're heavy to help people who can't write as well. There's no real way to tell exactly how much time it's going to take, because it really depends on your signer, just like any other signing would.
So you really need to say 2 hours, because for elderly, because I'm telling y'all, yesterday I went to do a refi, and it was with an older couple, and I was really not doing any talking, but the husband, his writing, the wife had to do she had to do the date. All he could do was sign. And so the back and forth of the paper, it took 2 hours. And I will never charge $200 for a refi. I charged $200, and I thought I was going to be done with that in an hour and 15, and it turns like 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So unfortunately with these, there's really, it's even wilder, just because you've got to deal with.
They're older. Yeah, I was thinking that too. My one I've done, not one, but the one I remember, the demographic is usually older, so they're going to need more time. Well, the notary will need more time, or the representative rather. So
I would say a minimum of 2 hours. I would not say, I know they say an hour and a half, but for older people, I would say a minimum of 2 hours.
Right.
If it goes faster, great. If it doesn't, at least you blocked out your 2 hours.
Right. So you're looking at, on the low end, $50 per hour. You're looking at, on the high end, if you were able to get it done in an hour and a half, then you're looking at more like maybe $60, $70 per hour, which
it's good either way. Yeah,
$50 per hour still isn't bad, but you just have to be able to, the bigger picture to me is that once I get this funnel operative, and that 2 hour appointment automatically sets you up for the potential of a bigger appointment 6 months later. And that's the whole thing. It's like developing a pipeline whereby you're doing these appointments, you're doing these applications, and they're numerous, and a lot of them are going to fall off by the wayside, because a lot of them are going to turn into nothing, because they're going to change their mind. But your goal at month 0 is to do the applications, because in 6 months, or in 4 or in 5 months, you will have a calendar already set up where Mr. and Mrs. Johnson want you to come back to do the signing. And so that's the bigger picture of it all, is that on the front end, it definitely is going to take more time than your average signing. The pay is not going to be horrible, but it's not going to be your $100 for an hour's worth of work. Okay, it's not going to be that. It's going to be more like a $50 per hour type of a scenario. You're going to be, there for 2 hours, and you're not going to be able to schedule anything behind this. You're going to have a 2 hour block, and then you're probably going to want a 15-20 minute buffer after that appointment before you schedule the next one. So, but the win in it all is that the steadiness. Okay, when I open up that funnel, when I begin to get some responses back from these VPs at these top 9 or 10 reverse mortgage closings that we've seen in October, the volume itself should take care of everything. And at every month 6, so you start at month 0, at month 6, ideally 20 or 30% of those applications result into closings. And every month thereafter, if you've been consistent, then you've got constant. So it's almost like in the insurance business, when you're kind of building your portfolio, you've got to, you're starting something. Some of them are going to fall out, but some of them are going to stay. And those that stay are going to be filling up your future pipeline, which is what every salesperson wants, is to already have a warm prospect waiting for them in the future that they don't have to worry about spending money to find, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But in the end, with it'll be a total with the application and the actual closing. That'll be what, $300-$400? What's the total?
Correct. So
about 300.
Yeah. So in my negotiations from the signing service to the lender, you know, I've decided to kind of start to play around with that on the application, on the closing. On the closing, I'm thinking probably more along the lines of $325. I just need to be able to convey to the lender the value that we're going to be bringing to the table. And that's where the whole certification and education and all of that comes into play. So it's going to be interesting to see what ends up actually happening from the feedback that I've gotten from participating in Bill and Nina's, reverse mortgage, the call that we have. It seems from across the country that 300, 325 is not an unusual number for the actual closing. So I'm not afraid of that at all as far as starting at a negotiable point. However, at the beginning, there may be some give and take on that just to get in, just to get the business. So I'm not going to say for sure that I'll be able to get the 3 or the 325, but I know that's where the negotiations will, begin. All right, Jeannie. All right. Have a good evening. Thanks for joining us. Jeannie's got to go.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye. See you next time.
All right, see you next time. So that's kind of where things are with that. So, I can't remember where I was going with this. Zara, what was your question?
Oh, I didn't ask anything.
Okay, my bad. Anybody have any input, questions? Sebastian, what do you got?
Nothing. I think that was Jeannie's question you were answering.
Okay, Jeannie. Yeah, she had to go. So, okay, so that's basically all I had. I did want to talk about a little bit about email signature. The importance
that
of it.
Phenomenal. Oh my gosh, that was.
Yeah, for sure. Let's look at let's see here.
Thank you.
I think it was Gloria's email. Oh no, it was Chastity.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yep.
Yeah, Chastity emailed me earlier today, and we're going to go real quick. If you've got a Gmail account, I'm going to walk you through tonight really quickly on how to get your email signature kind of looking like this, because that's all we have to rely on. That's what I'm doing as far as the marketing to these reverse mortgage VPs and executives, and it's probably what you're doing when you're marketing directly to the title companies and whatnot. So you want to make sure you spend a little bit of time to get your email signature looking professional. Of course, that starts with a professional email. As you can see with Chastity, she's done that. Chastity at ssdflnotary.com. She's got her name and she's got her domain, and she doesn't have a Gmail and she doesn't have a Yahoo and she doesn't have an AOL, but it's her domain name that is representative of her email. So as soon as you can get to that, that's ideal. You can do that in a whole bunch of different ways, but the main thing is to start with securing your domain name, and then from there, deciding who you want your email provider to be it the person you got your entity you got your domain name from, or GoDaddy or whomever. So she's got 9/10 of the battle won just by looking professional. So from there, she went and she's made sure that she's got a professional headshot. She's got her name and title, her commission, and all of these different things. She's got a link to her signing agent profile.
Her and Dominique are on it with this. I got to do this too.
Right. This is so important. It's a very simple thing. It's just taking about 20 minutes of your time to get your email signature set up. And once it's set up, it's set up. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So once you click this link, it takes you straight to her, just like with Dominique, it takes you straight to her NNA profile. Really, really professional looking. Another thing that I really like about Chastity's email signature is the fact that she's actually, passionate about, you know, national suicide prevention. You know, I'm a big rescue dog person. So for me, maybe I would do something from that regard, you know, about a percentage of every signing. But this communicates to the reader that, hey, you know, she's for something other than herself. And when I spend money with her, she's actually going to be contributing it to another cause. And then she's got her designations and all of that here graphically represented. It's just a really, really good email signature. So let's just take a quick look at how you can get your email signature kind of up to date so that when you're sending out your email campaigns, be it a flyer or just a quick hi, then you're looking as professional as she is. If you have Gmail, you're going to click on that little, whatever this thing is, this little, what is this thing called? Like, I don't know.
The
Whatever.
gear? That's called gear.
It's
Yep.
gear. You click on the gear, and that's basically your settings. And once you click on it, you need to click on see all settings because you want to be able to go to your email and all of that. So once your settings pull up, you'll be in the general tab. Now, this is only if you have a Gmail account. If you don't have a Gmail account, unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure what it would look like for you, but I'm pretty sure it would likely start in your settings, and you would just kind of have to figure it out from there. So, but if you have a Gmail, you go into your settings, click on all settings, and then scroll almost down to the end where you will see signature. Once you see signature, you will create new, and I will call this test. And you have a blank slate here from which to create your signature. So I'm going to give my name because this is going to appear at the end of every email. I'm going to give my title. And when you want something to be hyperlinked and you want people to actually be able to click on it, you want to highlight that URL, go down to your link button, click on it, and then it will create a hyperlink so that when you send somebody an email, it will be highlighted, or the underline will be under, indicating to the person that if I click here, it's going to take me somewhere. Then from there, I will type, maybe my phone. And email. I mean, not email. You don't want to do that because you've already provided them your email. But maybe my cell. And if I was doing like Jeannie and I had some wonderful quote, then I would type that here. And then if I had a link to whatever it was, then I would just put that there. And again, if I wanted it to be a real link, I would highlight it and click on the link button. Okay. And if I wanted to add a picture, say my logo, I would click on picture and click on that and select it. And it would add it to the mix. But if it was so big and crazy that I, couldn't see it, I would make sure I made it small. Okay. And then maybe made it medium. Right? Okay, so you just play around with it. And if you had a headshot, I didn't use one in mine, but Chastity used one in hers, and I thought it was very impactful. So if I wanted to do that, I would go above my name and come over here and search for my headshot. Which wants to elude me right now. We'll use an old one. Okay, so it's super big, so I'm gonna use a small version of that. Boom. You see, so you can actually create an email signature pretty quickly with all of the information that you want. And if you need a confidentiality statement, let me just get out of here real quick. My confidentiality note is as follows. The information contained in this email and documents attached are for the exclusive use of the addressee and may contain confidential, privileged, and non-disclosable information. If the recipient of this email is not the addressee, such recipient is strictly prohibited from reading, photocopying, distributing, or otherwise using this email or its contents in any way. Chastity's disclaimer, or whatever you want to call it, states the information contained in this transmission is intended for the use of the individual or entity named above. If you've received this communication in error, please immediately notify and return the original message to the sender. Be advised, the notary has not been contracted to provide legal, financial, or tax advice, and any such advice regarding any transaction by the recipients must be obtained from the recipient's attorney, accountant, or tax professional. Information contained herein is believed to be accurate. I actually like hers a lot better than mine, right? So you get emails from people all the time. I'm not telling you to do this, but what I'm saying is when you get emails from people and you want to get an idea on what to utilize for your own personal email disclosure, look at theirs. They've probably already had it vetted, right? Don't try to necessarily reinvent the wheel. Just, copy paste. Okay, you didn't hear it from me. This is for educational.
Copy the right cat. Okay.
This is for educational and informational purposes only. That's my disclaimer. So, Deborah, I'm so glad you made it in.
Thank you.
I did record it though, so you will be able to get the fullness of it. But right now what we're doing is we're just showing exactly how to go in and create an email signature and how important that is for you when you begin to market, because you definitely want to be able to present that professional image to whomever you're marketing to. Be that a title company, because again, guys, what I'm doing is going to be supplementary to whatever else you have going on. So this whole reverse mortgage direction that I'm heading in, especially for those of you in the General Notary Work Business Builder, that's one of the spokes. You have several other spokes as well. So everything that you're learning here, you can apply and utilize in your marketing efforts towards the title companies directly for your HELOC, your seller packets, and all these other things that you guys are out there doing. So it's just going to enhance your overall image when it comes to your business. Any questions? All right, let's get to the numbers. Real quick, just for the month of October, let me make sure I'm in the right column. I was so excited to see these October numbers come through just because I was like, who's doing these? Like, is anybody closing reverses? Like, really? And yeah, they are. So I'm in the maximum claim column, which is P. And again, this is just for the 30, how many days did October have? 31?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're just gonna look at the 31-day snapshot, and I'm gonna try to get all the way down to the end. I'm gonna go back to column P. And I'm just gonna do like a sum of everything in column P. All right, let's go down to the bottom here. All right, so what I'm going to do here is plop a formula into this column and make it be 1 through, let's just actually just do it this way. We're just going to select the entire column and just see dollars-wise how much this country just wrote in reverse mortgages. Almost there. All right. All right, let me put my Wow. Let me put my, holy moly. What is that number? There are
1.5 million.
Is that million or is that something else?
Billion. Oh no, that's billion. 1.5 billion.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
1.5
3,700
billion.
transactions this month.
Wow.
How many?
Over 3,700.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, and then the thing about it to remember is, just being a former loan officer myself, I remember I used to have to take 10 applications to get one closing. And what we're focusing on is applications on the front end. So if that's the average for the reverse industry, which I'm probably pretty sure it is across the board, because I don't care if you're selling cars, or if you're selling refinances, or whatever you're selling, you're going to have to take more applications than you expect to get in closings. So if you want 2 or 3 loans to close that month, you're probably going to have to take 30 applications in order for that to happen. And each of those applications has an amount associated with it from our perspective, from the notary's perspective. So that's the kind of the math that works with this. So when you think about 1.5 billion, or when you think about 3,700 closings, you almost want to triple that number when you look at how many applications did they have to take 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, in order for these closings to happen in October. And when you do that, you're looking at 3,742 applications. And let's just be simple. Let's just call it to the third power, so to speak. So 3,742 times 3, and that leads us to 11,226 applications that notaries did across the country in different states. Now, these notaries did not have to be certified in reverse. These notaries got the signing just like Sebastian did when he got his signing from the signing service. And they went out and did it, and maybe they spent an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 3 days, whatever. But the applications, and who knows what happened with that application that Sebastian did. It may or may not have resulted in a closing. See, that's the thing. It's all a numbers game. And the call centers at AAG, they know that. That's why they have Tom Selleck on right now on some infomercial talking about the reverse mortgage product. So a lot of my energies are going to be focused on those call center type environment type companies. In addition to going still direct to the loan officers. I'm not going to forsake the loan officers, but based on my conversation with Robert on Monday, I realized that a lot of the loan officers take actual pride in doing the applications themselves, and that they won't be our bread and butter. And that some of them actually feel some type of way about the call center people not doing their own. I did pick that up, when we talked. But again, when I did get the idea from him, after I realized that I wasn't selling him anymore, he was switching the table around and selling me. When he shared with me that he ran the reverse mortgage department at Fifth Third, and when he shared with me that he's been doing the reverses for 28 years, and that he owned a title company, and he, after his father passed, decided to just not, deal with it anymore. And that he had actually had the same idea of starting a signing service similar to what I was doing and just didn't act on it. I realized that I may have a great partner. So we're going to see how that works out. And I still 100% recommend the notary coach, 100%. The training was 100% awesome. It was very detailed. I feel confident if I was to get in front of a signing to be able to do a reverse because of the training. However, I know that $197 is not necessarily affordable for everybody. And maybe this meeting with Robert is, kind of like a blessing in disguise. So I did speak with him about the fact that, Notary Nerds University is going to be known for live delivery. We want to be able to deliver content in a live fashion. I think that's going to differentiate us from all the other training that's out there. a lot of videos, and I get it. The information does not change, and videos are the most effective. However, I do believe that certain people learn better in a live environment, and to be able to offer that is going to be a differentiating factor for us. So,
agreed. I have another question. I'm not sure if it's off topic, but when is this, what class is this, guys? The car dealership class coming back?
Oh, another good question. Okay, so let me go to my text. Katie is looking at, so I have a meeting with both Katie and Aretha. Katie teaches the car dealership, and Aretha teaches the Ron. Katie is starting to work with a big title company on January the 4th. So her availability has changed a little bit, but she will be doing a Friday and a Sunday session for the month of January. And actually, no, a Saturday and a Monday. I just don't know which Saturday and Monday yet. So Zara, I will get back with you. We are meeting, Katie and I and Aretha, on Friday, and I'll make that announcement, send out an email, post it in the group, and do all of that stuff after that meeting is concluded.
Oh, we can't get it before the year is out? I mean, we at the 16th.
Yeah, I'll see if she can't, because I know that she's moving to Denver. So I know that has been playing into things, but I will check with her. I definitely will check with her for sure. But
yeah, I didn't hear much feedback from the group in regards to the Ron or the car dealership. I'm just at this point want to see for myself because I didn't see anything.
And you know what? I'm going to be getting some reviews. They are working on getting the feedback from the students who took it. And so we'll be collecting those on Friday too, and I'll be able to share those with you. So that'll give you a little bit more insight as to what people thought about the course. It's as far as what they got out of it and everything. Got
it. So it'll be on the university website.
Yes. And I'll also share it in the group, and I'm also going to email it to everybody that's in the, in my database.
Got it.
All right. So anybody have any questions about how to set up your email signature, or any questions that I could kind of answer while we were on the call? Or anything that you may have a question about? No?
So just a quick recap for the reverse mortgage, your primary focus right now is to reach out to, you're doing a marketing campaign. You're going to get the feedback from the marketing campaign, and then you're going to funnel it to the GW builders, whatever we are, General Notary. GNW builders.
Right, I need to come up with a shorter name. Exactly. Yes.
Okay. No, that's it. General Notary Work Builders. So so once you do that, I guess we're looking forward to seeing that come January, or is that what's your gauge?
My hope is that, with Robert, who responded really quickly, I'm hoping that, especially now that I'm going directly after these VPs, I'm hoping that I get some bites earlier than later. My pitch to them is that I've got a team of notary professionals who are ready to be of service. So how that works with these corporations can be different. It may be, okay, you need to contact this person or that person or this person. So I'm not sure what that looks like yet. Of course, I want it to happen as soon as possible. I want to be put into the link. I may have to sign up as a vendor. I don't know what, but whatever they tell me to do, I'm going to do it pretty expeditiously, because my goal, is to get you guys at least your return on your investment of the $50 back ASAP Rocky. If I can get that back, then the 50 or 60 people that I have waiting to become General Notary Work Business Builders, then I can say confidently, this is at least what I know that I am able to do for you as a signing service. But I'm not going to do anything with them yet until I'm able to generate some type of results with you guys.
Got it.
Kind of where things
so
are.
For the G&W builders for the rest of this week, we need to be updating we need to tap into LinkedIn, update our profile as much as possible. And based off of, we're waiting to hear back from you, and I need to hear the rest of that, just to be clear.
That's exactly right. So for the
Okay.
rest of this week, your homework is to just get your LinkedIn updated.
Okay.
Just a quick update on YoCal. I have a call with them. YoCal is still not all the way right yet. I have a call with them on Friday at noon because remember the last meeting that we had, we looked at the search and we were not able to just easily enter the zip code and the state, the notaries come up. So I brought that to their attention. I explained that, we need to be able to go into that search feature and just, input the, Okay, so back on Friday, I told them, thank you for the update that I played around with the company scheduling widget on Wednesday, which was our call from last week. And I explained to them the feedback from you guys was that we or whoever is going to be scheduling on your behalf needs to be able to search by zip code from the search bar, and that we also needed to be able to put in a city in the search bar and have the most, nearest location show up. And I explained that the site didn't crash but we needed to we're going to push YoCal back as Sebastian recommended because it's too cumbersome. It's too bulky. So based on that email from Friday, we weren't able to get together until this upcoming Friday, where we have our meeting scheduled for, I think, at 12 o'clock. So we will be, see, YoCal has still got issues. So until we get that squared away, we're not Google ad ready anyway. But again, based on you pressing me, Zara, last meeting to look at what Notarized did and why they were what they were doing to the consumer to make them come to them, we learned that it was ease. So our ad will be easy. It will be input your information so that you can talk to a notary in 15 minutes. Period. And those calls will actually be coming to me once we start doing that ad campaign, which we're not doing that yet because again, my money is funny and my change is strange. So once that resolves itself, which will be in the next week or so, then I'll resume those ads and we'll move forward. But in the meantime, what we're doing is this whole focusing on these VPs at the reverse mortgage people who've closed in October, and hopefully we get a contract. Complete Signings is a contract with one or more of these. And, I've only got the 14 notaries in the general notary work business builder. So if this, ends up being where I get connected with some, one of these companies and I don't have a notary, then I'm going to have to go outside of my 14 and say, hey, those others of you who were interested, are you available? Because then it's going to be a geographic thing from there.
Well, hopefully that's what happens, because that's like you said, we are supposed to touch all 50 states. So that's
right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
Happen. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, I'm here for it and I'm excited. I just feel like we're in motion, but we're just, we're not neutral. We're in drive, but we in the slow lane. We're not in the fast lane. Slowly but sure. Yeah.
Amen. Anybody else?
I need to talk with you actually one-on-one about the Notary 101 class.
Yes. Okay.
What's that, guys? I'm nosy. What's that?
So it's one of the other classes that Monica came up with, and it's basically just an introduction on how to become a notary and what's involved as when you do become a notary, and kind of what's involved with being a notary, just in general, not anything specific outside of just being the notary.
God, I forgot you're one of the professors.
I know I have noticed, I'm not sure if everyone else has, but I've noticed a lot of people will come on and ask some of the pretty basic questions of what happens here, what goes here, what do I do with this? And a lot of it is just if you take the time to research how to be a notary before you get into being a notary signing agent, a lot of those questions get answered, and a lot of people are jumping past that for various reasons. I won't.
I would say one of the reasons is so for me, How did I find notary? I was looking on YouTube and it was down my feed, and I started to funnel through a billion or a bunch of it. I went on a YouTube binge of notaries, and I happened to find Mark. So I went straight to notary signing agent. I didn't even get to general notary work because I fell in love with just Mark's energy, his vibe. I didn't get to Laura and all the other people. So
Yeah,
that's how it happened for me. Oh, go ahead.
And I've noticed that has happened a lot. That happened to me. I jumped in with Mark too, only to realize later that like Mark should have been the last person I went to. I should have went with Carol first or Bill. I love Bill, but I think Carol would have been the starting point, and then
Well,
go
I
to
think
Bill.
For me, Laura too, but yeah,
and Laura as well, and
Yeah.
then Mark should be last because he's all marketing.
Yeah, but everything was divinely done, and I think that sometimes
he's a
the way-
salesman, man. He knows what he's doing.
Exactly.
But this class is just intended for is kind of the opposite of like, what is a notary? What does a notary do? What is expected of you? Kind of all the basics of how to do that part before you move on to the next.
Got it.
But the question was, Monica, I'm sorry. I do need to have a conversation with you about that.
That's cool. Are you going to be up later?
I can be.
Okay, so maybe we can, if we get out of here before 10, and me and you can connect, and then we can have that call. Or maybe if not, we can do it tomorrow because I'm all open tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I've got
I'm excited for Notary Nerds University, guys. I'm like, it's a new year. I just feel like 2021 is just gonna be something amazing, and I really feel like all of us tapping into this group or this tribe or family, whatever you want to, hyperlink it as. I really feel like there's a lot of 6-figure earners that's going to be broken in 2021.
Yeah.
And if not all the signing services millionaires, so we just have to, we just have to laser focus though, guys. We have got to get not only the money in, but the mindset, the day-to-day routine. Even if you work a full-time or part-time job, like you have got to figure out how to invest in yourself and in your business to get to this next level, because it's in us. We all have the ability to get this done. And Monica, really, I'm being serious. Your vision is so big. I don't even see it, but just the little that I get every weekend in the group, it's infectious, and you keep me going. And I love Sebastian. I met Sebastian through you, and your patience is like none other. You're very knowledgeable. Dominique has a vibe too. You guys all have a rhythm. So just the three, I know it's going to be more to be added. I haven't got to meet the rest of the team, but I just look forward to plugging in. And I'm excited for what's to come.
I've got to give you your credit because you are in this group, you are that thing that pushes us forward. And you put the questions out there into the atmosphere that force us to pay attention to them, because they're always valid questions, even though sometimes it's hard to look at them right when we're looking at them, but they're necessary. And then when we look at them, we always discover something. So this whole little synergy between Sebastian and you and me and everybody else who's participating it's all working together for good. I totally love what's happening. And I want you guys to just put this in your hat. If you can think 2 years down the road, look at 2 years down the road and look at yourself as being a franchisee, okay? Either look at yourself as being a franchisee of Complete Signings, LLC, or look at starting your own. Look at this being the beginning of something where you will be able yourself to create a passive asset based on what you're learning today that could feed your family's estate moving forward into the future. That's kind of where I'm at with this. I know that this is where this is going. I know it's got legs. Every time I talk to somebody, when he called me and came on this Zoom, and he told me 10 years ago he talked about this, and he'd been doing this for 28 years, and then he never acted on it, and he loved what I was doing, and he wanted to be a part of it. That's when I knew.
Cooperative component. That's what that was, a cooperative component. And it's putting all the legs together, y'all. And I know some people they can't see $1 million. So I always say 6 figures. I can truly see $1 million, right? But that's my belief. We all come from different backgrounds and different situations and scenarios, but everyone on this call can truly be six-figure earners. I'm just, you guys we can do this. It's doable. And in 2021, not
Absolutely.
in 2020. Yeah, we can do six figures easily. And y'all have to understand that that's my background from my job of a 9 to 5. That's what we, my partner and I do that. That's something normal. So I'm broke off six figures. So I have to get to $1 million, y'all.
Right.
I gotta get to $1 million.
Say that again, Zara. Because baby, we're in the same heat. Come on here.
Okay. Okay.
I need $1 million, Zara.
Okay. Go ahead, Miss Maydale, cause for real. We gonna do it, y'all. We just have got to get the mindset, the faith, and the belief. And not only that, we have got to get organized in what we're doing. It's not gonna get done if we're not organized. Apple is not Apple because they're just, okay, today I feel like working, tomorrow I don't. I'm gonna get to it. We have to do the work every day. No one can go to the gym for us. So it's the same concept with your business. No one can do that for you. You have to do that every day.
Exactly. So true. So well spoken. And capital. Okay. Capital is required in any business in order for it to be successful. So Notary Nerds University. Let's talk about that real quick. We touched on it when we talked about the Notary 101. Sebastian and I are going to be talking offline about that. Notary 101 or Notary Nerds University 2021 is going to look like this. It's going to look like an expert in every state providing a Notary 101 level course specific to their state on the Notary Nerds platform in exchange for a affordable membership. In other words, $20, $25 a month, right? So that these new notaries coming in can be able to come in and get the necessary training that they need in order to be compliant in their state's notarial law. The monies that come in from those subscriptions would serve as the capital needed in order to go and invest in the Google experts. The Google experts are going to be required in order to be successful in Google Ads campaigns. I'm not going to continue to pretend that I can figure it out. I'm going to pay the professionals who already know how to figure it out. They come at a rate of about $200 per hour. So one thing leads to another. We create the content like Sebastian in Texas and whoever else in Illinois and Indiana. And we have this plethora of offerings when it comes to those classes, those basic classes that people in the Notary Nerds group, which we're up to about 1,700 members now, the new ones of those can easily access those at an affordable rate. It's not your Notary Essentials training, which is recorded and all of that. It's a live, interactive, and an engaging training that helps people really learn their state's law. That $20 per month from those 500, 600, 700 individuals is going to flow into Complete Signings. Complete Signings is going to turn around and invest that into the best Google experts that we have so that we can go out and get that notary near me search traffic and then start generating that notary, general notary work business. So what I'm seeing now is the way I started is it was ambitious because I thought I could just go out and grab that Google Ads traffic pretty easily. However, unfortunately, I learned that that's not the case. And we also learned, thank you to Sebastian, that the customer is not interested in filling out a questionnaire with regard to making our lives easier and vetting our appointment. So now we're going to change our ad, thanks to Zara, from us looking at what the notarizes of .coms of the world were doing to make it easy. We're just going to tell them, hey, give us your name and number and we'll call you in 10, 15 minutes. And that call is going to be from notaries who Complete Signings is going to hire with the money that we get from this whole subscription-based service to work from home and answer the questions. And then they're going to put the call and the appointment on the YoCal calendar. The customer won't have to deal with YoCal. So it's all coming together.
The lesson was learned, but the lesson needed to be learned. That's how we get better, right? That's how we perfect things. And just to chime in on the university, I honestly think that for the value that you're giving, this in my mind, because I feel like I'm your business partner. I always got to chime in, y'all. Okay. I think that it needs to be tiered. So, it needs to be tiered. So if we're going in as freshmen, all the way to senior, you need to pay a fee. So when you get to senior, that means you get access to top tier. And if you're going freshman, you pay at this level in my mind. So I don't know what the feedback is on that, but I just had to chime in because for $20 for the entire university, that makes no sense.
No, you're
Okay.
right. Yeah, it's definitely going to be tiered. Your 101 level classes are going to be at the $20 mark. Your
Got it.
apostille, your commercial, your reverse classes are going to be at a higher tier. So
Got
yeah,
it.
we are totally on the same page with that for sure.
Got it. Super, super. Yeah, but I'm excited. We about to do
It's
this, y'all.
happening.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
What I missed the thing about the yokel. What was that about?
Okay, so with yokel,
Sorry.
no problem, Crystal. Yokel is
Is what?
it's just a little
Maybe another hour.
cumbersome for the person searching on Google for a notary. So what we're looking at is having yokel. Hold on, let me see here. What we're looking at, Crystal, is having or was it Deborah or Crystal asked this? I'm sorry.
Crystal, Miss Crystal.
Yeah.
Miss
Okay.
Crystal.
What we're looking at, Crystal, is having myself at the beginning put the appointments on the calendar once those calls start coming in from the Google ads, which we're not running right now. So, but when we get to the place where we're resuming those Google ads and we've converted them, instead of them going to the website, they're going to just say, hey, here's my telephone number. I want a notary to call me. I'm going to be that notary that calls them during waking hours, and then I'll have some plans for somebody else during non-waking hours. But what's going to happen is that entity is going to put the appointment on yokel. So it's going to be an in-house person going to yokel and putting the appointment on your calendar, on Zara's calendar, on Sebastian's calendar, or whomever, wherever that person needs a notary. So yokel is still definitely in the mix. However, we still have a couple of things to work out with them, namely, like the yokel search. We want to be able to, let me go to the yokel widget real quick, and so I can show you and visualize what I'm talking about. Right now, we cannot search by zip code. Let me see here. We cannot search by zip code, nor can we search by proximity, and that's a problem. Because, you know, if a consumer was to go to the website and they wanted to search, then they're going to put in their zip code or they're going to put in their city. And if they have any issues with that, it's going to be an issue if they can't easily, you know, figure it out. So I'm sharing with you the widget, and let me kind of get this out of the way. So currently, if somebody was to go to the company widget right now, they would be able to schedule with either of these 14 notaries, and they could either click here on the dot and see which one was closest to their city geographically. And then from there, they can choose a service and then choose their time. This is too cumbersome for the average individual searching for a notary online. It's requesting too much. They just want to be able to do it quickly and easily, as we learned, you know, from the notarize.com. Last week, we actually went and got notarize.com to notarize a document for us, and they didn't make us do any of this. So what we realize is that even though this is great for the notary public, it's not great for the consumer. And thank you to Sebastian again for calling me on that off afternoon and saying, hey, we need to look at this because, you know, I think we're probably missing something here. But yokel is still very much valuable because it's an internal tool. It's better as an internal tool. The consumer doesn't need to see this first off. But on Friday, what's going to happen is we're going to fix or discuss the fixing of this issue here, which let me go back to it and so I can show you, which is in this search bar, I need to be able to search Nashville. Okay. When I search Nashville, at least the Laverne or the Memphis or somebody should come up due to, you know, proximity. But what it's happening is it's saying we could not match any location. I should be able to search Houston. Ah, well, I got somebody in Houston. But it needs to be able to give me proximity. So even if I'm not, if I
Euless.
What was it?
Euless. EULSS. EULESS.
Yeah. Oh, see, it ain't popping up.
Yeah, and that's literally a 10-minute ride for me.
See, that's the problem. And so what I presented to YoCal was, hey, look, the feedback from the group was we need to be able to put whatever we're searching for in this big rectangular search bar right here. We don't need to have to depend on going over here to this distance drop down and putting in what's the ULIS, what's the zip code that I would be able to in ULIS?
In ULIS, I'm not sure. 75050.
I don't want to have to rely on coming over here to that distance zip, this distance category. Let me go back to it. In order to search. So you see, there's still some things that have to be worked out with YoCal anyway. So that's kind of where things are. So Friday I have the call scheduled with them, and I'll be hopefully being able to get with them and work that part of it out. But in the meantime,
perfect timing so you can focus on the reverse for us.
Exactly. Right now we can't stop and wait on that. The Google Ads and the YoCal thing, it's not working as it's planned. So, but we have to just switch gears. And the gear that we're switching is going directly towards the reverse mortgage. Not only the reverse mortgage, certified reverse mortgage specialist. Let me share that with you guys because I have that database, but also the closed reverse mortgages. Let me share my screen. And also now those VPs and higher at the top closing companies for the month of October. So I'm being fresh and new with those closings from October based on that October HECM data. And we're going to be going, straight after those who have already exhibited the ability to identify their market in the reverse space. So here are the October closings, but then also the certified reverse mortgage professionals, which I'll pull those up when I can find them. So marketing has already gone out to the certified reverse mortgage professionals. Here at the bottom, you can see these are the states that I have notaries from the General Notary Work Business Builder team. That's Florida. So emails have gone out to everyone here on this list. Georgia, there weren't very many. Louisiana, there was a handful. Tennessee, again, those two gentlemen I've already spoken with in person. Nevada, a handful. New Jersey, a handful. Ohio, one. Oregon, a couple. And then Texas, just those 3 certified reverse mortgage professionals. Now, as you notice, Mutual of Omaha is represented twice here. And they were also a company that had a big presence on October's numbers. So they're also going to be, let me go back up so I can give you an idea of how many. Here we go. If you can see here, all of these are Mutual of Omaha. So even though there was only 2 Mutual of Omaha or 3 total certified reverse mortgage professionals in Texas, if you'll notice, a lion's share of the, let's go down to the Texas closings. So in Texas, Mutual of Omaha was responsible for closing, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So only 7 closings happened. But again, I encourage you to remember that these are reflective of more applications. In order to get 7 closings, you probably had to have 21 or so applications taken per closing. So the applications are going to be more numerous than the actual closings will be. And so that's the business that we're going after now.
Looks like 12.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. in various parts. Now, this is just 1 month. If we go back and we look at September, okay, we go back and look at September, and we sort it the same way by the originating mortgage e-sponsor. Where's my state data? Okay, let me unhide. There we go. Perfect. And if I could just sort it by state instead. Okay, perfect. So now we go back down and we look and see what happened in Texas in September. Florida's hot.
I mean, that's where all the snowbirds, that's where everybody.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. September was an awesome month in Texas.
Texas, yeah.
September, AAG held it down. Again, AAG is my new best friend. Look at this. Okay? This is all of Texas. So again, these closings are reflective of you know, some loan officer doing a multiple number of applications in order to get that one closing. You don't get a closing without doing, you don't get one closing for every application. That's not how it works. So theoretically, you're getting multiple applications in order to even get this one closing in Harris, one closing in Bexar. Our goal as notary publics is to be that entity that does that application and then be that follow-up entity 4, 5, 6 months down the line that gets that closing business. And that's our unique selling proposition, is the familiarity piece. The signer doesn't have to worry about who's going to come next, and the lender doesn't have to worry about the signing not being complete, because my pitch to them is, my job is to recruit the smartest and the brightest and the best. These are individuals with very impressive professional backgrounds in their own regard, and they just want to be self-employed. And this is an avenue for them to be able to do that with. So,
and that's what your LinkedIn says. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So it's just going to take us some time, guys, but I think we're on the front end of something. I know we're at the beginning of whatever this is. If other people come in and join in, that's great. You know, the more the merrier. But we are definitely at the beginning of what we are doing. We are going to be definitely figuring this out for ourselves first, and then we'll have a period of time where we'll be able to kind of wallow in that and enjoy that. And then I'm pretty sure that we'll have, you know, duplicators coming after us. But And honestly, I hope you guys are the duplicators. I hope that eventually in your individual markets, we end up seeing things segment off to where you get to know your market so good and you get to develop those relationships so good that either A, you franchise off with complete signings, or B, you start your own. I absolutely see that happening. So, but this is definitely the beginning of something great. And that's all I have. Anybody else have anything?
No, I just look forward to seeing your email for the G&W builders for our LinkedIn.
Okay, yes, absolutely. So the G&W builders, you guys, as far as the LinkedIn is concerned, now I'm basically doing all that for you. So Zara, what are you actually referring to? You're referring to the
what you were talking about right now, what you were finishing your sentence to say.
Okay, so so you won't really see any of that. So I'm doing all that behind the scenes on your behalf.
Yeah, but you told us that we need to go ahead and get our LinkedIn up to date, and we're going to be on somebody's 30-day trial and something.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Okay, I got you. Yes, I'm
okay.
emailing you guys. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. I will be emailing you guys on the General Notary Work Business Builder team a link so you guys can be on my 30-day trial to be able to play around. Yes, you're right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we can close out with that. So I'm good. That's all I wanted to make sure.
Okay, cool. All right, it's 9:56. It's been a great call. If there's nothing else, you guys have a great evening, and then I will see you in the Facebook group tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Hey,
Thank
Monica.
you.
Good night. Hey, Sebastian, are you gonna stay on?
Yeah. Yeah, I need to.
Let's
Or
get off of
wanna
this.
start another Zoom and just send me a link.
Okay, yeah, let's do this. I'll stop this one, and then I'll send you another one.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Night, everyone.
Good night. Bye-bye.